All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. You can please rise for the flag salute. Flags to the right here, to the left. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The route of egress in event of an emergency, all people may exit to the right or left from this room and proceed to an exit door. All doors will be open from the inside. The Open Public Meetings Act, the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of to attend meetings of public bodies at which business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Haledon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the North Jersey Record Herald News, the board's official newspaper, on January 9th, 2026. Notices of this meeting indicating date, time, and place were posted publicly on the door of the main office to the school and filed with the clerk of the municipality of Haledon. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Turner?
Here.
Ms. Quadrado?
Here.
Mrs. Fisher? Stepped out. Ms. Garcia?
Here.
Ms. Gatlin?
Here.
Mr. Guzman? Mrs. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
And Mr. Coletta?
Present. All right, we're going to open with the presentation on the training for the Chief School Administrator Evaluation provided by Mrs. Kelly Mitchell from the New Jersey School Board.
Thank you.
I'm sure I have the email. I can send it.
It's on the agenda, so.
Yeah, it's on the agenda too, but. Bill, I just sent it to you, okay?
It will show up right here.
Yeah.
Is there a way I could like click so that it's a little bit bigger for everybody? or-
Bill's got you covered. Hopefully.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Garcia.
See a little bit. Oh, you did, okay, okay. So will I be able to, so I won't be able to like click it?
Just let me know when you want the next.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna talk about the CSA evaluation and the process of doing that today. So this year is going to be a bit different, right? Because we're going to switch our superintendent. I don't know if you accepted that or not yet. But so we're going to go ahead and go through the process. But it'll look a little bit different in the conference, of course. You could switch over. So we're going to talk about the legal requirements of the evaluation itself, and then how the tool supports you throughout that process. Go to that. Essentially, the evaluation itself is supposed to bring you together as a board with the superintendent so that you could talk about the direction of where the district is going. There's two components to it. There's a goals component to it, as well as, I'm sorry, as well as the standards, the leadership standards that you'll talk about. And you're supposed to have a conference ahead of time to talk about the timeline. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Then you're going to do the process. Once that process is completed, then you sit with your superintendent and go over the direction of where the board's going, where the district is going, and how you can work better together. So we're going to talk about the calendar, the trainings that the board should do in that process, the goal setting piece to it, and then the evidence that you're going to see in the process itself. So you're legally required to have that done by July 1st. So that means that everybody is done with their process, filling it out, having those conferences. It all needs to be done before July 1st. And then on that July 1st date, you have the superintendent and the board president, if the board president is not conflicted, sign that document saying that this is a compilation and it's reflective of the majority opinion of the board. That needs to be put in the personnel file of the superintendent. And then that, when you're going through the CUSAC process, which I don't know, are you in a CUSAC year this year?
Thank goodness, no.
Oh, that is good, that is good. But you will need that evidence there. So make sure that you have that done by July 1st. I don't know if you can see this, it's a little small, but this is the actual calendar that you should be following. So right now, all the superintendents did receive the actual platform to their email. If you didn't receive that, you can just let me know and I can send you a link. But then they start compiling their data on what they're doing. So they upload their evidence on the links of the goals. And then also they answer the questions to the standards and give evidence on that. Right now, as a board, you should be making an appointment with each other to sit down and have a little bit of a conference on what the expectation is on filling out the evaluation itself, what that timeline looks like, when the superintendent feels that he can complete that process, and then the start. And then also schedule that final conference as well. You should be doing that timeline and getting that all in order so that you all know collectively what your expectations are and when they're completed. So like I said, that gets done. Oops, I'm sorry. Can we just go back to that calendar? As you can see there, that gets done right around now, that March, you're going to be doing that pre-conference. By April, by the end of April, we ask that the superintendents go ahead and finish their portion. And then we ask that the board finishes theirs, like mid-May, end of May. If you can do that, that'll get you to that timeline. That means that in June, you'll be having that conference with the superintendent, and then you'll be able to get that done by that July 1st. If you stay within this timeline, it should be an easy lift for you. So part of the process, there's a two-part process. The first part is the goals. So it'll be the district goals, and they'll all be put down on the evaluation itself. So when you read them, you'll see that the goal is up there, and then you'll see that there's an evidence piece to how you completed those. So how the superintendent feels that they achieved the goals or progress was made, however they score themselves. And this is essentially what it looks like. So you'll see there that it would be the description of the goal, the superintendent's comments and support remarks and rating, and then how they grade themselves, whether it's achieved, whether it's some progress made, little progress made. And then you'll see there that it'll give all those standards to that goal itself. So in order to make this an easier process for you, throughout the year, you should really schedule as a board for the superintendent to give you updates on the goals as you go along in that school year. Because then once you get to this part of your job, you'll be able to easily go through that evidence. You'll remember, oh yeah, I remember that presentation mid-year on this goal, and I remember what that looked like. So you should be able to, as a board member, if I asked you, how are you doing on goal 1, district goal 1, you really should understand where you are. So if you do that, if you schedule that along the way, this process becomes much, much easier. We've gone to the next one. So then this just gives you an example of what the board actually can fill out. So then once they see how the superintendent scored, then the board is going to be asked to say whether it was achieved, some progress made, or little to no progress made. And then you do have to write a comment in as a board member, your comments on that goal. Because if you don't, it won't allow you to get to the next page. So just make sure that you do fill that in, because I get a lot of calls sometimes where they say there's something wrong with the system, and it's not, it's just that you have to fill that in, you have to make some kind of comment. And then the next portion is the standards portion. So like I said, we have those two different portions. And on the next slide, we can go down to that next slide. This will give you the standards portion of what that looks like. So it's mission, vision, and goal. Then it would be the governance piece and professional norms, the operation, curriculum and instruction, and then community care and professional capacity. So those are the standards that are set not only by New Jersey school boards, but in conjunction with the NJASA. So we do this tool together as a collective partnership to make it easier and to agree on what those leadership standards should be. So we'll go to the next slide. And this is an example of what standard 1 would look like, that mission vision. The superintendent will fill that out, give that link to supporting evidence so that you can easily click on it and see the evidence of saying that, yes, I'm exemplary or I'm proficient in that component. So then, can you slide down a little bit with that slide? So then it goes down to that bottom portion where you can see where the board member does have to put in comments. So make sure that you do that again, because you will not be able to get to the next page without that. And you can see there that the board member felt that it was proficient. Next slide. And then this is the compilation report. So once everybody is completed, I'll get a little email reminder that says that you've all done your task. And then I will send this to the board president. Unless the board president is conflicted, then the board president would give it over to a designee. You'll get 2 compilation reports, one on the goals and one on the standards. That's when you take those, you print that all out. It'll give you all the comments that all the members made, and then you'll give a copy in executive to everyone. And then you'll sit and you'll have that conference and talk about what the majority feels the superintendent has accomplished. Where do you want to see the district go from there? And then that would compile the worksheet that gives a little bit of a summary. That's when you invite the superintendent into that conference and you talk about what is reflective of the majority opinion. But that also allows the minority opinion voice to be heard as well. So that conference is really important because it should get you together as a team, and it should give you some thought process on where you want the district to go. So you shouldn't be looking at this as just evaluatory. You should also be looking at this as like a little mini retreat, how you can get to the next level as a group. Next. So again, this is what the compilation would look like for one of the goals. And you can see there that, so the majority opinion would be that the superintendent achieved that goal. And then this is what it would look like for the standard. So if you scroll down on that one, you could see there that the reflective majority opinion is proficient of the superintendent. So that's what will go on that worksheet. Like I said, that tool is here to just talk about the strengths of the superintendent, where you would like to see improvement, and where you collectively feel that the district is. So it's a really great tool, not only for the evaluatory piece and for the legal piece of it, but also, again, to get the district to where you want to be. So then that talks about the legal requirements, because you don't have to use the New Jersey School Board's tool if you didn't want to. So if you wanted to just write a narrative of a couple of different bullet points, as long as it talked about performance and achieving goals and the standards, you could do that. I personally feel that it's much easier to use this tool because I help facilitate it for you so that you're not trying to compile everything on your own. But certainly if you felt that you didn't want to do this, type of evaluation, you could just do a narrative on your own as well. This is the worksheet that you'll have at the end that will give the reflective opinion of the majority of the board. And you can see there where the board president needs to sign and then the superintendent signs. And then that goes into the personnel file of the superintendent. So like we say, the summative report should talk about the goals, the standards, and then reflective of that majority opinion of the board. And that's it. You have to make sure that in that conference that all voices are heard and that everything is in compilation with the standards and with the goals as well. Any questions on that? No.
You said that we don't need to use this version. We can do a narrative, but it would have to be collectively, right?
It would be.
Either
So you
or.
still have to do the conference. You still have to somehow have the majority opinion reflected in that that form.
So what I mean is like, say they do like that and I do a narrative. It
Oh,
can't, it has to
no.
be
So you
all-
have to decide either you
Okay.
do one or the other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this does seem like a heavy lift, but like I said, if you have reporting out every year, like a couple times a year about the goals and everything, you should be able to breeze right through it. It's just when the board doesn't really understand the goals of the district, and they don't understand where they are with those goals, then it becomes a heavy lift because you're looking through all that evidence and you're really not understanding it to the full extent. So my recommendation would be that next year, when you build out your schedule, your meeting schedule, make sure that you put in, you should be going over the board goals and the district goals collectively, at least 2 to 3 times a year, updates on those.
I do this for the Verona District and for the Northern Regional Educational Service Commission, like twice annually. And I think it's a platform, it's user-friendly, and it's easy to manipulate and engage with it.
Yeah, I think so too. But some boards really just do not like the tool. They feel that it's just a heavy lift. They feel like that it's quite long. But I just think that this is time well spent, right? To bring the board.
I think within
in.
half an hour, you can get in and out
Yeah.
if you want
Yeah.
to.
And just keep in mind that I answer my cell phone 7 days a week. So if you get stuck, if you're doing it on a Saturday or Sunday, please call my cell phone. I'm happy to walk you through it. I don't want you to get frustrated. So just know that if you're going through it, and it's usually on the weekend or in the evening when you are doing it. I was a board member for very many years and I would always get stuck on the weekend and then I'd have nobody to call. So please know that I answer my phone 7 days a week for that.
I can vouch for that. Even from Hawaii, she answered the phone.
I did.
I said, please don't ever.
That's too much.
Please
Kelly.
don't
That's
ever
a little-
answer
Kelly, that's
from
a
your
little too
vacation
much.
ever again.
I was very happy to do it. So it was like anything goes.
Enjoy your vacation, Kelly.
And we did discuss, in light of some of the stuff that's on the agenda, the option of doing the narrative only version. However, since we have so many newer board members, we felt that it's in the best interest that everybody could sit down and go through the whole process. And I think that that'll help us going forward with the stuff that's on the agenda, coming out. So that was the decision we made to go
That's
with
why I'm
doing the
here
full.
today, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit different, it'll have a
Yep.
little bit different feel this year, but it'll get you used to doing the process, and I think that's important. Did you have any questions on anything else that you wanted to talk about while I'm here?
No, I think we're good.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. All right, with that, we're gonna move, can I have a motion, please, for 3.1 to open the floor to the hearing of citizens on agenda items only?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Johnson, second, Ms. Quadrado. All in favor? We're gonna start with anyone in the room that wishes to speak. Remember, please give your name and address and comments to keep to 3 minutes. And this is on agenda items only. Do we have anyone that wishes to address? Ms. Isa, please come up. Thank you.
Good evening, Isol Isa, 22 Pompton Road in Hamilton. On behalf of my family, especially my 2 children who are products of a Haledon Public School education, I want to thank Mr. Waka for 10 years of loyal and dedicated service to HPS, the students, staff, families, and the Haledon community. Mr. Waka has led our school community through tragedies, a pandemic, minor disasters like mold remediation and burst pipes, a large building addition, and much more, all while running operations efficiently and within budget, keeping our school fully staffed to the best of his ability, creating a safe and positive environment in which students could learn, grow, and thrive, leading and nurturing staff to ensure they were meeting high expectations and had opportunities to develop as educators, and building a caring community for those who cared to be a part of it. His professionalism, expertise, and empathy will be missed, and he has set the bar high for his replacement. The HBS community expects Mr. Waka's successor to be as devoted to ensuring our school's continued improvement and success as he has been. Our children deserve that. My family wishes Mr. Waka the very best in this new position. Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you. That was very kind.
Thank you.
Stick around for my report if you could. I want to talk about it.
Does anybody else wish to come up?
Yes. Jamie Spirito, wow, I can't say my last
You
name.
can't even say either.
It's Jamie Spiritigliosi, 83 Albion Ave. I just want to come here and personally thank you for your dedication, your leadership, and your unwavering support for our children. You're just amazing. But I've had a unique perspective. I got to view you through 3 different lenses: as a staff member, as a parent, and as a board member. And I think one of the most commendable things about you is your ability to lead with not only intelligence, but heart, and leaving ego completely out of it. And that's not easy to do. And I want to thank you for that. And I wish you the best. It's a big loss for Haledon, but I know Lincoln Park's going to really benefit from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. You should stick around too.
Okay.
Ms. Martinez online.
Good afternoon, Rafael Martinez, 53 Barber Street, Haledon, New Jersey. Mr. Waka, congratulations on your new endeavor. For the last 10 years that I've known you, you've done nothing but wonderful things with our students, with your staff, with the board members, and you will be truly missed. I urge our new board members to start looking for a replacement ASAP, because when we hired Mr. Waka, it took us a few months and very, very long hours to make a decision. And I urge you guys to start looking now, because the school year is almost over, even though it's only March. God bless you, Mr. Waka. God bless your family. God bless your future endeavors, and you will be missed truly. Thank you for everything you've done for us in Haledon.
Thank you, Rafi. Oh, that was very kind.
Mr. Webb.
Hello, Nathan Webb, 42 Tilt Street. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate Superintendent Waka on his new endeavor. During my time on the board, I truly had an honor of working alongside Mr. Waka. We navigated some of the most challenging times during COVID, and through it all, his steady leadership never wavered. He brought clarity when things were uncertain and always kept the students at the center of every decision. Chris is the kind of leader that every district hopes for, someone who communicates openly, leads with transparency, and isn't afraid to be present. Whether it's in the board meetings or walking the halls with students, his hands-on approach made a real difference. And of course, his leadership helped bring major progress to our district, including the addition of a $4 million expansion to our building, something that will impact the students for years and years to come. And while we're all sad to see you go, we're incredibly grateful for everything you've done. Lincoln Park is gaining an outstanding leader. Congratulations, and we wish you nothing but continued success.
Thank you, Dr. Webb. And I'll say that I think you possess the inherent qualities to become even better at this job than I am. I really do. So thank you, Dr. Webb.
Is there anybody else who wishes to address the board? Anybody online?
No more hands.
Can I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Quadrado, second, Mrs. Serna, all in favor? Can we have a motion for correspondence, please? Motion, Mr. Williams, second, Mrs. Serna. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Serna?
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And Mr. Coletta?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion for the prior minutes, please? Motion, Mrs. Serna,
Second.
second, Mrs. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Serna?
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And Mr. Coletta?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to committee reports, starting with President's report. Obviously, this is going to be in a different type of meeting, a little bit of excitement, some change coming. Want to start off by thanking Mr. Waka for his time that he spent here with Haledon Public School and different roles that he's played. Congratulations on your new position. I wasn't going to say where it was, but somebody else already did. You know, I'm sure they're going to be very happy with you, and I'm sure you're going to be happy there. You know, it was. I think we had a good working relationship, so it was nice that we could have a disagreement on things and then still have good common conversation and get along well. So I'm very happy for you and your family. You know, in November, the town voted for some change, and now we have new board members, we have new board leadership, and now we're going to be starting the process for filling the chief school administrator role. I want to assure everybody that this board is committed to finding the best person for that position going forward, and that every option is going to be on the table, including looking to hire our own superintendent, looking to hire interim superintendent, as well as looking at the shared service option. All of the options will be explored, and we're going to pick the one that the board feels is in the best interest of the children and the town as a whole. We are going to be working with the New Jersey School Boards Association and our field service rep, Ms. Mitchell, who was here earlier today. She'll be helping, assist, and guiding us through the process. Again, we as a board have a legal, ethical, and fiduciary obligation to do what's right for not only students and the town as a whole. So I want to make sure that everyone's aware that that's what we're going to be doing and putting all of our effort into finding a suitable replacement. With that, we're going to start moving forward with that as soon as possible. Additionally, we received our state aid numbers, so Mrs. Augustin will be able to go over some of that stuff as well as we go look to not only start this process, but go through the budgeting process. Ms. Mitchell was here. We went over the fact that we could have opted not to do a full evaluation and just do the narrative version. But as I said earlier, we thought it was in the best interest of everybody that go through it, go through the full process, make sure that everybody understands what it is, what they're looking for. By evaluating what we have currently, then it'll give them an option to, I think, look at what we're going to do going forward, you know, what works, what doesn't work, and things of that nature. And that is my report. Moving on to Mr. Waka's superintendent.
Thank you, Board President Coletta. I know Mike's probably too humble to say this, but Mike's daughter, a former Haledon student, top 8 in the entire state in the state wrestling championships in Atlantic City this past weekend. That's something I think I know every father will be super proud of. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
I remember high school wrestling. I had ringworm, and I was like, ugh. But I stayed through it, and I'm cured. So don't worry. We'll make it. So I want to also thank Ms. Mitchell for her presentation. It's nice she came out, especially on like a holiday. So we appreciate that she came out to us tonight. We have some. Everyone, if you come to a board meeting, you're an important person because not everybody comes to board meetings, and these are important things. I want to start by thanking Ms. Lisa Liza. You're a very important person in my life now and in the past, and hopefully in the future. PTA member, PTA president, board member, board president, and a whole lot of good stuff that's going to be resonating for a number of years. It happened under your watch. I also want to thank your husband, Mr. Liesel Isa, for being an awesome councilman and being just someone that I think is you're both role models in the community. And you have two beautiful, lovely kids. So I'm sure you're as proud of yourself as I am proud to see that. I'm going to pronounce your name correctly, Miss Jamie Sprigiladiosi.
That was almost better than.
Almost. But you know, it's when there's an open board seat, there's only a couple months to do it. Like a lot of people might say, I don't want to do it. It's only a couple months. But it takes bravery to be a board member because, you know, we don't get emails as board members saying how great we are. We get emails, but this needs to be fixed or that needs to be fixed. So, you know, I know you're a lifelong Haledon resident, and to come back and serve your community is great. And then to hear Rafi, Rafi's my man. Rafi knows that he's probably the sweetest soul that I might have ever met. And Dr. Webb, I meant what I said. I think, you know, you have all the tools to be great. Like, don't think you're not great because you are great. And then for everyone else, you know, that's here, I appreciate you spending time tonight to come out here. So one item on the agenda that I've submitted my letter of resignation to the board. I'm very excited to become the superintendent of Lincoln Park, but HBS is always going to be my favorite school. That's for sure. I want to thank this HBS staff and community for all the great things that we've accomplished together over the past decade or so. And we did that for the betterment of the students and the betterment of the district. It's been a fantastic ride, and I'm going to miss this place big time. And I genuinely wish the board the best of luck with the CSA search process. My next item is I want to thank the PTA for all they have done. I know they have their big tricky trade coming up tomorrow back at the Brownstone, which I love. But the other place is great too. But the Brownstone's like, I'm a big Brownstone fan. So I want to wish good luck to everyone's numbers tomorrow, and hopefully they get everything they want. Item 4 is going to be an interesting one. So due to the snow, we had, as well as the pipe bursting issues that have kind of plagued a lot of North Jersey towns. Like it's not just hail, like a lot of towns have burst pipe left and right. We're supposed to owe 2 days back if you look at our contract. One of these days we're looking to put as Good Friday, which is before our spring break, and this will be a half day. The second day will be on June 18th, and this will be a half day as well. That was due to Juneteenth day. But like this board, we get a contract with the Teachers Association that says 181 days. We're only legally mandated to do 180 days in order to meet the state minimum. So, you know, this board has some options as far as what they're looking to do. But if this board's looking to have two what would count as full school days come back, my recommendation would be the Good Friday before spring break and make that a half day, and the Juneteenth, make that a half day as well, because we're going to be totally off that day. Now, my 5th agenda item is that we held committee meetings. To the people that came on Friday, I've never had a committee meeting on a Friday night at 9 o'clock, and I loved it. So that was a lot of fun, Ms. Garcia, that you joined me on that. And then we had a lot of committee meetings on Monday, probably from like 5 o'clock all the way through 7:30, 8 o'clock. We were on committee meetings. I felt they were productive, and I'm sure that the committee chairs can report the details of the said meetings. And also I want to thank our HEA presidents, Ms. Pusilowski and Ms. Sullivan, for hanging out with us tonight, as well as Ms. Polizano, one of our vice principals. So thank you. And Roberto Mendez, our director of special services. I'm sorry. So thank you. And Bill, you're the man. That's my report.
All right. Moving on to the business administrator report, Mrs. Augustine.
Okay, thank you, President Coletta. So tonight, we're going to take in for the consideration of the board finance resolutions 13.1 to 13.18. The finance committee meeting, we met yesterday to go over the finance items, and they are as follows. Resolution 13.1 is a rescinding of a Delta aid for one of our needs of the district, and the district decided to go in the direction of hiring an in-house, so we're rescinding that appointment. We also have 13.2, our Sources of Strength Club fundraiser, and this fundraiser is to be held on the half day on March 30th and also at dismissal of March 31st. In addition, we have two resolutions related to child study team. One is transportation, which is 13.3, and also 13.4, which is the transportation contracts. Resolutions 13.5 to 13.6 are specifically related to the food savers operations, and we have the invoices for January and February, and these are the Massio statements, and it reflects the ongoing partnership for providing food services to our students. In addition to that, we have our resolution 13.7, which is our Parent Square contract. This is a replacement of talking points, and this is specifically for the communication with our parents and our stakeholders at large. Moving on to the facilities and infrastructure resolutions 13.8 through 13.18. These resolutions are specifically for our fire alarm project that's currently in place, our HVAC upgrade projects that are currently in place. We also have a resolution for city pet construction is to give our facelift to our preschool bathrooms. This project will be funded completely through our preschool budget. And we also have a resolution 13.18. This is for the new upgrade project. Once the board passes the budget tonight, we can move forward with that. We just needed a resolution in order to submit to the New Jersey Department of Education. And since this is a facility project of this size. Other items on the agenda, we have our preschool budget plan. This is an annual resolution that needs to be done right around the budget time. This is a workbook of all the expenses for preschool for the upcoming school year, 26-27. And after the approval, this will be also attached to my budget submission to the county. We have our bills list, and we also have regular finance reports, transfers, treasurer's report, and also the board secretary's report. Okay, any questions on any of the agenda items of finance before I move on to the budget? Okay, so in addition to the resolutions in finance, we have resolution 7.1. This is the budget that we are proposing for the 26-27 school year. The New Jersey Department of Education recently released our official state aid figures. While our total funding is slightly above last year, this is largely due to the significant increase of 19.55% in preschool aid. So just so we're clear, the state aid for the preschool aid is just for preschool. So even though there was an overall increase of aid, it's that the portion of the aid for preschool is just for preschool. So even though the subtotal of the aid in our general fund has seen a decrease approximately over the years, for the last couple of years, this year we had a decrease of 185,481. That is 1.35% specifically in these particular categories. We had a decrease of 8.62% decrease in transportation aid. We had a decrease of 1.84% decrease in the equalization aid. And we also had a 1.91 decrease in security aid. So with that being said, our overall decrease in our state aid is trending in a direction of negatives over the last couple years. To address these shortfalls this year and the rising cost of operations, the administration and I have worked hard to balance this budget. In this budget, we are asking for your consideration the budget increase in tax levy of 2%, which is the maximum allowable under the state cap without going out for a waiver or any referendum. In addition, all administrative departments, like I said, work hard to identify cuts where deemed necessary and allowable. We have achieved a balanced budget through significant reductions across all categories while ensuring allocation in program-specific areas remain favorable to protect student instruction. We are strategically using our reserves to fund essential projects in our budget, including the 3.1 capital reserve specifically for our boiler room and HVAC upgrade, which is in the consideration for the budget. Also, our maintenance reserves of $400,000, 432,223 for our maintenance reserve for all required maintenance. So these reserves have been, we have this balance in our finances to use to balance our budget. So, and these categories are specifically for those items, maintenance and capital. Overall, the tentative budget is summarized as follows. Our general fund is $25,821,989, and this includes our tax levy 2% increase of $6,988,832. Our special revenue fund, which is our preschool fund and title fund, which is $3,332,048. This brings our total budget for your consideration of $28,154,037. Our next step with this evening is to pass our budget and forward it to the executive county superintendent. The community is invited to a formal public hearing on the budget, which will be held April 28th at 7 p.m. at the Helden Public School. At that time, we will present a more granular look at the budget reductions and the specific measures taken to ensure the district remain fiscally sound while we're providing a high quality of education. That's my report, if anyone has any questions.
Before we move on,
Sure.
does any board member have any questions for Ms. Augustin?
One comment, that's all right. I can tell you firsthand, normally I call Lamika and she'll pick up and she'll be in a good mood. The last, I would say, 5 or 6 days, I call Lamika, still in an okay mood, but there's a presence in her voice, and I know how hard you worked on this budget, and it's never a fun job trimming, right?
Yeah.
But I see the heart that you put into it. I'm just really proud that we have someone that put in the effort that you put in to be as creative as you possibly could. But I just think it's a really great service for our students and our staff and the district as well. So thank you, Monica.
Any other questions?
No.
Seeing no questions, we're gonna move on to the Personnel and Management Committee, Mrs. Cerna.
We are officially accepting the resignation of the superintendent. We will be approving a long-term substitute to ensure coverage. There are 10 leave of absence on the agenda. To clarify, these are all appearing at once due to a delay in communication. We have a new position, an aide to maintain legal compliance following the enrollment of an additional student. We also have a custodial hire to make sure we meet a basic requirement. That's it.
Any questions for Mrs. Cerna? Moving on to Curriculum and Technology Chair, Mrs. Garcia.
We had a fun Friday night meeting.
It was our little Friday night hangout. I like that.
We did discuss the items on the agenda, which
Miss
was
Kelly, you were there too. I'm sorry.
the approval of the pre-K summer program. The school calendar for 2026 and 27 is out. Also talked about the days that need to be made up, which was suggested by the superintendent for Good Friday and the Juneteenth. Workshops, professional development workshop for some of the teachers, as well as some field trips, 4th grade and 5th grade. And we also discussed about case number 0126, which was an HIV case in the school.
Any questions for Ms. Garcia? Seeing no questions, we're going to move on to Policy and Public Relations, Mr. Williams.
Evening. Okay, so we a couple weeks ago and discussed multiple policies. First one was 0142.1, which is on nepotism. Condition mandated for all employees, but pass that to the board attorney for further questions. We discussed policy 1120, reviewing employment policy. We discussed policy 1552 and policy 2530, the Freedom to Read Act. Needed further guidance on policy 2535 from the board attorney as well. Policy 2535 regarding the policy, a certified complaint. And we discussed abolishing policy 3342-52, and that's necessary to align with the new procedures. Policy 9130, gonna pass that to the board attorney as well for clarification. That completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Again, there was a delay in communication with the attorney's office. It's looking to be rectified. There were questions that were submitted regarding some of the policies. During the committee meeting, we did have some questions where, in particular, the one that Stan here sees, the nepotism policy, where we had a nepotism policy. It was working. We didn't see what the change was that was necessary where we had it, so that there was we weren't able to do nepotism hires or any of that type. So that was one of the questions. A few other things were removed since we didn't have answers. No other questions. We'll go on to the next committee report, which would be
For safety.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Community engagement and extracurricular, Ms. Quadrado.
The Community Engagement Committee met for the first time to discuss opportunities for community engagement within the district. Specifically, a suggestion brought forward by Board Vice President Cerna regarding the possibility of hosting a community movie night to raise funds for items such as the t-shirts or a holiday float, which will no longer be covered within our budget. As part of the discussion, I took time to review our Board of Education bylaws and policies to better understand whether hosting events like this would fall within the role and responsibilities of the board. Based on that review, it was determined that the board's role is primarily governance, policymaking, and oversight of the district and does not include organizing or managing fundraising activities. We also discussed the logistical and financial considerations involved in hosting an event, including the use of school facilities, staffing, and potential security, and that the cost could potentially outweigh the financial benefit. Additionally, it was noted that events like these typically organized by typically organized by independent groups such as PTAs or educational foundations rather than the Board of Education itself. The committee also clarified that the Community Engagement Committee is an optional committee that primarily serves as a space to share and highlight community activities rather than organize events directly. Overall, the committee determined that hosting fundraising events does not align with the role and responsibilities of the board. But I would like to definitely thank Vice President Cerna for bringing this idea forward. While the intention reflects a great opportunity for engagement, community engagement, it's important that we remain aligned within the role and responsibilities. It did spark a thoughtful and productive discussion and help ensure that we focus on our roles. With that being said, to close, I just want to highlight several community engagement efforts that have taken place within the district this month. The PTA hosted late February the father-daughter dance, which was a great success. There was strong participation in Reading Across America Week, which promoted literacy and school spirit across the school. Unfortunately, I was traveling for work and could not attend, but I do want to sincerely thank HPS for the invitation. HPS also hosted a Scholastic School Fair, book fair, and then the School Spirit Soar, which supports the 8th grade School Spirit Scholarship, will run through March 22nd. And looking ahead, we are looking at some events such as the Tricky Tray tomorrow from the PTA on Friday. the NJSBA is hosting the 3rd annual Women's Conference, and Manchester Regional High School will be having a community tour on April 22nd. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Quadrado. Any questions?
I think you misunderstood. I didn't say for us to host it, like for us to manage it and organize it. It's for them to do. You know, because I think last year we had like a pizza and like a dinner, and Ms. Bolzano was there and she did the whole thing.
Oh, I must have misread your text then.
But who would be them?
Well, it was Ms. Bolzano and I don't know who else was there.
Can I talk? Am I allowed?
I don't know who else was there.
That was the spring show, Chris, the one where they have.
It was a school, it's a school, it's a school event.
That
we're
was
gonna-
for the,
Yeah. If we're part of it, it's gonna be a school event.
Thank you. Physical plant and finance, Mrs. Serna.
We spent about 2 hours before the numbers came out and another hour and a half after the numbers came out, going line by line through the budget. We saw a 20% increase in our preschool education, and in general education, we lost about 1.35%, taking a $445,000 hit. Ms. Augustine worked her magic and shifted and shredded down where she could to balance the budget. After attending a NJSBA workshop, the biggest takeaway was regionalizing and shared services with districts in our area. We already share about 12 with Manchester, but we haven't expanded those shared services to include Prospect Park and North Carrollton. We can continue to explore new options for shared services, as Senator Goldpool is also strongly suggesting we open up the floodgates of shared services to better benefit the district. That's it.
Any questions from the board?
No.
Seeing no questions, move on to state and county, Ms. Quadrado.
Thank you. I did ask Lois to send you guys an outline. It is longer than usual because of everything that's gone on this month. So just to go over my outline, districts across the state are reviewing governor's proposed fiscal year 2027 state budget and preliminary state aid figures. Governor Cheryl introduced a proposed budget, which we reviewed with the secretary's report and the BA's report. The proposal focuses on stabilizing school funding while expanding investments in preschool programs, student mental health services, and academic supports, which are particularly relevant for pre-K through 8 districts like Heldon. The budget also prioritizes student wellness and academic recovery. Approximately 33 million has been proposed for the SPARK initiative, which stands for School-Based Partnerships for Access Program, and shifts the focus towards providing more direct school-based mental health services, particularly for students with higher or more complex needs. The goal is to strengthen partnerships between schools and mental health providers, so that students can have access more quickly in a setting that is familiar and accessible. So this would be eventually replacing the NJ4S Youth Mental Health Program. Additional proposals include support for a new Office of Youth Online Mental Health Safety Awareness and social media research. Following the governor's budget, the legislature has scheduled several public budget hearings, which I also listed on the outline. If you guys were interested, you can just go to the NJ legislative website. Another important update involves a new state law regarding internet-enabled devices in schools. Districts will be required to adopt a local policy addressing internet-enabled devices before the start of 2026-2027 school year. I also had the opportunity to attend the NJSBA Legislative Committee meeting this weekend, which featured Chris Williams, the Chief of Staff for the New Jersey DOE, as a guest speaker. And during the meeting, members discussed the governor's proposed budget, upcoming legislative hearings, and several policies affecting school districts across the state. Some of the topics were the administration's continued focus on modernizing and stabilizing the School Funding Reform Act, as well as rising district costs related to healthcare benefits, special education, and contracted services and transportation. Committee members also discussed potential legislation related to school facilities funding through the New Jersey Schools Development Authority. And then there were also conversations regarding charter school oversight and accountability. Lawmakers are continuing to review proposals related to the consolidation studies. And that's about it. We'll
Thank you.
continue to monitor.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Board Attorney?
Not to speak to you out of turn for Mr. Brown, but I do know that he's looking into the policy changes that you had sent his way, Mr. Williams. So the proposed policy changes are being reviewed. So.
Thank you. Would it be best if we don't have the answers to table those to the next?
Yeah, I
meeting?
think so,
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure. All right. Moving on to preliminary budget 7.1. You could give a report, we're just motion vote. All right, seeing that this was already discussed, do we have a motion to vote on the preliminary budget?
Sorry.
Mrs. Johnson, seconded, Ms. Garcia. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Johnson was first, you said, or Mrs.?
Ms. Johnson.
Oh. Mrs. Serna?
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And Mr. Coletta?
Yes.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next one, does anyone have any questions on any of the agenda items under personnel management? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to move the agenda items under personnel management?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Serna, second to Ms. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Serna?
8.3, no, everything else, yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes, and Chris, I'd like to say that with regret, I've liked working with you between here and Manchester, and best wishes to you in your new position.
I would say the same thing for you. Thank you.
And you said yes, correct? Okay, thank you. Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
And Mr. Coletta?
I did have one question. I wish I would have asked it beforehand. On 8.3, for this, I just want to make sure before I vote. Aren't the teachers salaried employees, so wouldn't they be paid regardless of if it's a half day or the late opening for the
This is
entire
about,
day?
it comes down to the language in the contract about what a teacher is entitled to. And there's no specific language that says what their lunch is entitled to or their duties entitled to for a delayed opening. Like it was never just, neither side of it put that into the contract. So because these individuals on here are gonna lose 20 minutes of the lunch they're promised to get 40 minutes of, and instead are gonna spend that time with children, my strong recommendation is that you vote yes for this because I think contractually you lose if you don't.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions on curriculum, technology, any of the agenda items from any of the board members before we move on? Seeing no questions, can I have a motion, please, for the curriculum and technology?
Second.
Motion, Ms. Garcia, second, Ms. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Serna?
9.5, no, everything else, yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Once.
Yeah.
I don't have my.
Good meeting.
on here.
Yeah, no, but we already started voting.
Okay,
I do have a quick question regarding what you said earlier, the schedule change.
9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
Since they're only required to have the children have the 180 days,
Mhm.
and this will bring them to 181, is there any detriment to not having the extra day, other than the
The
teachers would
detriment
just
would
get
be,
paid?
so there's
to
two
not be
things. The
here?
detriment would be, it's instructional time lost, right?
Right.
The other detriment, if you view it this way, would be that, you made a contract that has the teachers come in 181.
Right.
In this case, it'd be 180. Now, I think you could make the argument that, the pipes bursting is something it's a very unlikely thing to happen. It's kind of unforeseen. I think you could make an argument to say, let's forgive this one day, this one time because of these reasons. But if you wish to hold the teachers to that 181, then we just gotta find a different day.
Because
I hope that answered, but can you help us out with that? Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. So you wouldn't be exceeding the allotment that's negotiated. It would just be a conferred benefit that's there, like a give back in that situation, so.
thank you.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia,
Are there any other days that could be substituted?
So it's a good question. Like there's any day during the spring break, right? But like if you're gonna hit the spring break, you probably want to hit it on one end or the other, right? There's some contractual language that prohibits Memorial Day being used unless, like, I'm pretty sure that's what the contract says. I have to look into it for sure. There's extending the school year, but once you get to that point of the year where you have the graduation, the kids have already done the kindergarten promotion and the pre-K, it's a little weird to keep them back for that extra day. So I think this, if the board tells me to, the board votes yes, it's one thing. If the board says we want to vote yes, but want to forgive that one day, that's another thing we can live with. But if the board votes no, essentially we're going to have to find another day somewhere.
But we have to make up that day?
You have to make up one of them. You don't have to make up two, but one of them has to get made up. So if this board says, we want to come to Juneteenth, but not do the Good Friday, we can get by on that. Unless a snowstorm comes next week, or a pipe burst next week. And then it's a different conversation, but it's gonna be the will of this board because the staffer have agreed to be here at 181 and now situations are, this is a calendar that would get you that 181. And if you wish to go 180, we're still compliant in state level, but it's up to you. You have to say yes to agree to that.
I would definitely take out the Good Friday only because of religious reasons. Juneteenth, I guess would be okay if anybody else has a problem with it.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't have a problem with forgiving the one day for and maybe that's not the right word, but like the conceding the one day that they're contractually entitled to anyway, rather than having the families and everybody that thought they were off have to come in, and I would have no problem with that once it gets to my vote.
Well, is that the will of this board in general? Because if we can always revise this, put it on next month's agenda, next meeting's agenda, and just have the Juneteenth half day, but I don't want to do that unless I'm guaranteed to get this in the pass.
well, we started voting, so I don't know what.
We can rescind the vote at this
Okay.
point, so we'll stop the count on the other ones that were there just because we're looking to change it. So if you're looking to withdraw 9.6 from
Well, we need a separate motion and everything to withdraw.
Yes.
as a revision to the agenda, yes, so.
What's this called?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Well,
You should probably do a straw poll to see
Yeah,
if
can
your
we-
board's looking.
is everybody straw poll okay with that? The rescinding the one half day and conceding the one half day that they're contractually entitled to? And not forcing the families and the kids to come in on Good Friday that they were already scheduled to be off for, or?
Pending a comic store song.
Yeah, pending another pipe burst or anything else as of today.
Does the half day count as a full
Full
day?
day, yes.
Oh, okay.
We need 1 hour in the AM, 1 hour in the PM, and a total of 4 hours to make it full day.
Okay.
Seeing that, do we have a revised motion for those terms for rescinding, or is it for pulling?
You could do either. So if you want to pull it off,
Right.
or if you want to revise that part of it to not have the April 3rd and just be a June 19th on there. So if you would like to do it at this meeting, or if you want to push it to the next meeting.
If we can have a revised motion removing the April 3rd date. If motion, Ms. Cerna,
Second.
second, Mrs. Johnson, roll call please.
Give Ms. Augustine a second, I think. So
Yep.
it's a,
Get this all right.
it's a motion to revise the agenda.
Yeah, I have revised.
Yeah.
Okay, revised.
Complicated order. I
Revised,
apologize.
resolution 9.6, right?
And then we would redo the votes for the, I think two people had already started
Correct,
voting.
yeah, we would have to yeah.
It's 9.5.
9.5,
School calendar?
count 2025-26 calendar.
This is all,
Okay.
this is all on Zoom, Mickey. You can go back on
It's
YouTube.
not in here. It's not on my thing. Okay, anyway. Okay, so this is a motion to revise 9.5.
Yep.
Mrs. Cerna,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
and Mr. Coletta.
Yes.
Okay.
I have one other question.
Go ahead.
Just curious, like, what are the penalties for not making up the day? Like, are there any financial
Well,
penalties?
If it was the board's decision not to make it up, then the teachers are willing to come, then, you know, you'd have to still pay them, right? But if it's something where, like, you know, we didn't have the number of days the state requires, then that would become at bare minimum a CUSAC issue. But I'm sure our attorney might.
Yeah, state aid is something that's part of it too. So if you don't reach the minimum requirements, not just the days, but other issues, you're jeopardizing state aid allotments.
Good question.
So you're making a motion for the regular items?
Oh, that was just for the one?
That was for the one.
So do we have a motion for the remainder of the items under, so that would be 9.1 through 9.4 and 9.6 through 9.7.
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Johnson, second, Ms. Quadrado. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cerna,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yeah. Yes.
Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
and Mr. Coletta.
Yes.
I have one question. Do we need to rescind the other, when they started voting previously the first time?
Yeah, those ones, yeah, those are,
We didn't actually rescind that, you know?
we don't need a motion for it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Policy committee, do we have a motion to table those items until we get the review from the attorney? Motion, Mrs. Cerna,
Second.
second, Ms. Johnson. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cerna.
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado.
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Ms. Garcia.
Yes.
Ms. Gatlin.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson. Yes. Mr. Williams.
Yes.
And Mr. Coletta.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to physical plant, finance and physical plant. Do we have any questions before we go on? Let's try to get them before we start voting this time. My error, I apologize. Any questions? No. Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to move the agenda items under section 13? Mrs. Cerna, wait a second.
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 Ms. Quadrado, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cerna.
Recuse from 13.16 PO 600 845. Yes, everything else.
Ms. Quadrado.
Recuse from 13.12, line item 71180, and 13.16, PO 60030 and PO 600688. Yes, for everything else.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Ms. Garcia.
Yes, with the exception of recuse 13.16, PO 600967.
Ms. Gatlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson.
Recuse from 13.16, PL 600-957, yes to everything else.
Mr. Williams
Yes.
and Mr. Coletta.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question for the attorney under new and old business. As a board, we had discussed previously reaching out to, regarding CSA search to Manchester, to explore if shared services is going to be an option or not. Do we need to vote to move forward with that, or can we just do that since it was ready?
You can have a voice vote if you wanted to have it. It doesn't have to be an official resolution.
Okay. Anyone opposed to reaching out to Manchester to discuss the judges? To see if that's a possibility. May or may not be a possibility. No decisions have been made by this board. But again, we do have to do our due diligence and explore every option as was discussed. Do we have anyone opposed to reaching out to them from the board? Seeing no hands, we'll go forward with that.
You don't have to do a roll call?
Without a voice, like that.
You could do a voice, aye, we could do aye for it, so,
Okay.
All in favor?
All in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All
Thank you for the
opposed, right?
clarification. All opposed? Any opposed? Any
Yeah,
opposed?
any opposed? Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Does anyone have anything else under new or old business they wish to bring up?
I do. I just wanted to touch base on, I'm a new board member. And I just want to touch base on, I often look over the code of ethics. I put a copy on everybody's desk. And I just believe that we should, not saying that we're not, but maybe just review it once in a while. Because we do have that obligation to the public, the children, and like Mike said, that fiduciary mandate that we all have. So that said, I'm just gonna read the code of ethics if you don't mind. Mr. President. I will uphold and enforce all laws, rules, and regulations of the State Board of Education and court orders pertaining to schools. Desired changes shall be brought about only through legal and ethical procedures. I will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing. I will combine my board actions to policymaking, planning, and appraisal, and I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. I will carry out my responsibility not to administer the schools, but together with my fellow board members to see that they're all well run. I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action that may compromise the board. I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to special interests or partisan political groups or to use the schools for personal gain or for gain of friends. I will hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools, which if disclosed would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, I will provide accurate information and in concert with my fellow board members. Interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community board schools. I will vote to appoint the best qualified personnel available after consideration of the recommendation of the Chief Administrative Officer. I will support and protect school personnel and proper performance of their duties. I will refer all complaints to the Chief Administrative Officer and will act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of administrative solution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Do we have anybody else, anything, new and old business? Seeing nothing, moving on to hearing of citizens on operations of schools. Again, this hearing of citizens, operation of schools. Please announce yourself before you address the board and keep comments to the 3-minute standard. Can I have a motion to open the floor, please? Motion, Ms. Quadrado, second, Ms. Serna. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the floor is open. Do we have anyone in the audience? We'll start by the audience.
Online.
I'm sorry.
Online, sorry.
Start with the 4 first.
I jumped the gun.
Do we have anyone in the audience who wishes to come up? Seeing no hands, can we go with whoever was first? I believe it was Mr. Fisher.
Mr. Fisher, yes.
Mr. Fisher,
He's muted.
can you unmute him? Oh, he's unmuted. Hey, Jeff.
Good evening, Jeff Fisher, 3 Avenue C, Haledon, New Jersey. At the last meeting, I observed the report, the $30,000 personnel report. And I had to go back because there was a number that stuck out and it went past real quick. And I went back and looked at your videotape at 49 minutes into your meeting. And the consultant said that you had roughly $10 million in payroll and a health benefit cost of $340,000. And I'm rounding that off. And then he continued to go on that's under $2,500 cost of health benefits per employee that's covered. That just kind of like caught in my craw that there was no way that was accurate. And on a $30,000 report, I would hope that kind of a number would have been checked several times. I looked at your user-friendly budget online, and I'm sure your finance chair can confirm this, but your health benefit costs are roughly 30+% of your payroll, or over $3 million. The only reason I raise that is it brings to question the validity of the rest of that report. So I would ask that you go back and look at that. There was a PowerPoint; it wasn't available on your website, but that's a major mistake. From $300,000 to $3 million, and I think, like I said, it makes you go back and want to look at everything else that's in that report to see how accurate it is. I just want to bring that to your attention, and thank you, and have a good evening. And Chris, thank you for everything you've done for Haledon and Manchester.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, we have Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. Rafael Martinez, 53 Barber Street, Haledon, New Jersey, 07508. Again, Mr. Waka, thank you again for everything you've done for the school, for Haledon, for the teachers, for the board. Again, I know the process to getting a new chief administrator is a long one, is a rough one. I just urge you guys to start ASAP and hope you guys have one by the end of June. So that way that person can get prepared for the new school year ahead of time. It's going to be long hours, like I said earlier, and it's a decision that has to be unanimous. So please take your time, understand, interview, ask all the right questions, and make sure that the person that's going to come is going to bring to the table lots of things like Mr. Waka did, and also can be a cohesive unit with the board, because that's the only way the board is going to be successful, if they're cohesive with the chief administrator, and also allow that person to do his or her job. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Do we have any other hands? Seeing no other hands, seeing no one here, do we have a motion to close the public session?
Motion.
Motion, Mrs.
Second.
Serna, second, Mrs. Quadrado, Ms. Quadrado, apologize. All in favor?
My part of the executive pretty quick.
Okay, all right. We do have an executive session. What do you think, 15 minutes or less?
Well, my part's gonna be rather quick, but your part with the CSA search, I don't know. I have no idea how long it is.
Let's say, we'll say 45 minutes just to be covered. Hopefully it's not that long, but we will go into that. All right, do we have a motion to?
Action and no action?
No action, right? I don't believe it.
There's no action on my end.
Do we have a motion to go to executive session? Motion, Ms. Quick. Second, Mr. Williams. All in favor? Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Motion, Mrs. Johnson, second, Mr. Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Everyone have a great night.
Yeah, me too.